All right, welcome back to part 8 of my brain collapsed into my spine, and I almost died due to medical negligence. When I left you last, we had just met with PT. It was the night of February 19th that I had met them, and we had a game plan for what we were going to do moving forward, and I was going to do a squat, and I was going to walk out of this building in less time than they had told me I was going to be there. Which was about 2.5 weeks after I met with them upon arrival. On February 20th, they came to my room, OT did, and I met with this lovely woman that I had been working with, and we talked about life, and we laughed as I tried to put on my socks and put on my underpants and put on my pants. It would slip and hit myself with my assisted device that I was using to try and put these things on, and she was so patient and so kind, and she saw me as a whole human when she would laugh with me about these things that although I could have been really embarrassed about, and I could have been upset that I was tackling these tasks in the way that I was, she made me feel so much more real in that moment, and that it was okay. It was okay. We were doing it. I met with speech, and we had fantastic conversation. Never once did she laugh at me when I would use a word wrong. Never once would she tell me that I sounded silly when my words would come out in a way that I wouldn't expect them to. But she did encourage me to keep trying. She did encourage me that she felt that my speech that I had been able to maintain and what I had going on up here, that we were going to reconnect it and we were going to make it work. She made me write my own menus for my food. And if you've ever been in Mary Free Bed and they have you write your menu, so I asked her, I begged her, respectfully, I begged her the first time to not make me do that, because writing was something that I couldn't do. I'm right-handed, and my right side it didn't work. And so I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. And she said, here's the menu. If you need help, you can come to me and I can help you, but I want you to try. And so she encouraged me to step outside of my comfort zone and to push me, but in a way that wasn't uncomfortable, not in a way that felt like she was making me, but she would present it in a way that I wanted to. I didn't know if I could, but I wanted to. So I thank speech therapists out there everywhere for what you do, because it made me feel like a superhuman to be able to write my own menu and to get the food that I had ordered for myself. That was a feat that I didn't expect to tackle, but I did with her help. And then I saw PT, and they came and they picked me up and we pushed my wheelchair down to that PT room. They introduced me to everything that was in there. They got me on this recumbent stepper bike, which now I have in my own gym that I work at. And they said, we're going to try and push this. And when I tell you that I could not even make those pedals move, I could not even make those pedals move. So they said, we're going to stand up. We're going to try it. We're going to put this gait belt on you, which I had to wear all day anyway. But we're going to put this gait belt on you, and we're going to stand on either side, and we're going to put this walker in front of you, and you are going to stand up. And I was like, yes, I am. And they showed me just where to put my hands, and we laughed together when I would do it wrong a few times. They'd have to say, no, stop doing that. Put your hand back on the walker. And I pushed myself up, and I stood for about half a second, and everything went dark. And they said, okay, sit back down. They decided to go and get a monitor because that was weird, right? I don't think we planned on that. So they go and they get the monitor, they come back, they hook it up to me, and they're watching my oxygen, they're watching my heart rate, and we're going to try again. We're going to do it again. And so I put my hand down, and I put my hand on that walker, and I'm like, okay, deep breath, I can do it. And I pushed off, and I stood up, and my heart rate went insane, and my oxygen dropped, and everything went black. And they said, sit down. Whoa, girl, sit down. And then they gave me a moment. Because what? that's not how this was supposed to go. We were going to stand up, and I was going to be good, and I was going to be solid, and then I was going to take a step, because that's what we were doing. That's why I'm here. That was our plan. And then nothing went to plan. And so they gave me my moment to silently cry and to pull it back together, and they said, it's okay. We're going to try again tomorrow. Let's try some other things to see if we can just get some movement. And we're going to try those instead. And then tomorrow we're going to try again. Okay. My ex-boyfriend ended up coming to visit for the first time. Mind you, I am about 30 miles from my hometown where I'm at now. And this is the one and only time that he stepped foot in Mary Free Bed. He came to see me. He spent about an hour with me, and then he left to go to the bar with some friends from work. Shortly after, they sent psych in to come and see me because I had had a really rough day, and I wasn't coping well, and I was really sad. I appreciate everyone's kind words and telling me that I am this powerhouse, but in that moment, I had no power. I didn't have any power left. The morning that I had felt so strong and I had felt like I was just tackling the world, but then the one power that I was waiting for and that I needed didn't happen. And then the support that I needed to be there because he's supposed to love me. At this point, we had been together for over 5 years. That we had gone back and forth in this relationship, and he was supposed to love me. And I didn't have any of that anymore in that moment. So psych came to see me, and they let me cry too. And they said, hey, it's okay for you to not be okay. And I said, but I need to stand up. You don't understand. Standing up is where all of this starts to just get better, and I get my life back. So I just need to stand up. And I couldn't even do that today. And so she sat with me, and we talked, and we came up with a plan for how I was going to take care of myself, and that we were going to take each moment as it came. And that no matter what, it was going to be okay. No matter what happened, we were going to figure it out, and that she was going to be there to help me. The next day, I woke up with... I was still having the 8 out of 10 headaches every day. I unfortunately was, and I had floaters that were happening in my left eye that it felt like there was water stuck in there. It was super annoying. And it felt like I just couldn't clear it. And I woke up, and on top of everything else, that 8 out of 10 headache was like someone was in there and they were sitting there just squeezing my brain. And I would hold my head together and I would squeeze it back, and then for a second it would be okay, but as soon as I would let my hands off, it was just like my brain was expanding. There wasn't enough room. So they sent me to a CT to make sure that my structure of my brain looked okay. My physical medicine and rehab doctor, who was seeking answers for me, because how did this happen? And how did no one help you? And how do we get you better? Because he is an incredible doctor. He sent me for the CT. And while I was waiting, my boyfriend was supposed to come back to see me. And I messaged him to let him know that I needed him to bring a bag for me to put laundry in, because my mom had been doing my laundry for me because we didn't have laundry there. And he messaged me back and said that he wasn't coming. And I was crushed. And I said, I'm so disappointed. And he said, a lot of swear words involved, which I'm going to share the post after I'm done here. But why would I want to sit in an effing hospital after being in a prison, because he was a corrections officer, all day? Why would I want to come and sit there in a hospital? And I cried and I begged and I pleaded. And I gave up for the day. There's going to have to be a part 9. So please come back. It gets better.